Yeah, Harvinder, what's the last class? We were done the functions concepts as well as models and packages also we were done, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay. Now we are going to understanding the next concept, which is the file handlings. Okay. So if you're already installed the Anaconda Navigator, you just need to go for open Anaconda Navigator. So once if you open it, okay. Launch the Jupyter Notebook. So today we'll talk about file handlings. File handling means we can write the files or we can read the files through a Python programming language. Okay, so that's the reason we are calling it say file handling with Python programming language. So go to your specific location where we are holding all things, and now we'd like to go for creating the new folder, and the folder is rename file handling. Okay, so coming to that this particular file handling. Okay, so go to your specific Python 3 file and you just write it what exactly this file name is. 7 2022 Python file handling. Okay, so before we understood the file handling, we need to know what exactly the file. Can anyone tell me what is file? What is file?
File, we can store our data.
Okay, we can store our data.
And we can revise whenever we can
So
store in
that means
our
we are storing
memory.
the data permanently, right? Okay,
Yes,
long
and
term
whenever
memory.
we want, we can
Yes,
open it.
yes. Permanently, we would like to store the data in our disk. Okay, so there we are going to be using the concept of the files, right? So files is nothing but it just allocating some space in the hard disk so that we can store some information in our hard disk with somewhat a permanent mode until unless you are deleted manually, right? That's exactly we're calling it so files. Basically, there are two types of files we have it. What are the types of files we have it? Types of files. What are the types of files? You know it.
XML dot that one, right?
Basically, there are two types of files are there. One is a binary file. Second one is the text files. Okay.
Yeah.
So binary files means here the files can be stores only all binary data. Okay. So 0 and 1. When the file contains only 0 and 1s, that kind of files we are calling it a binary files. There are different examples of the binary files. You know image files, right? You know image files, right? All image files or else video files. Okay, and executable files, object files. Okay, these are all comes under the binary files only. Okay, these binary files, it's impossible to write your own, and it's impossible to write it's impossible to read the data what exactly it is, right? So those things we are calling it's a binary files. But in this particular session we are not talking about binary files, so we are going to talk about text files actually. Okay, text files means the file it can be stores only alphanumerical things. Alphanumerical alphanumerical data. If any file it can be holded, that kind of files we are calling it's a text files. There are different kind of dot extensions, .txt or else .doc or .ppt, okay, .xml files, .json files, everything could be easy to readable and easy to writable. That kind of files we are calling it's a text files. Clear? Yep. So this kind of files we can handle as of now with a coding only, sorry, with operating systems. So file operations, what kind of file operations we can do on your OS? So the first file operation is file can be created, file creation, okay, file creation, or else if you want to open the file, file opening, and for example if you want to read the data from the file, file reading, or else if you want to write any information on the file, that kind of thing we are calling it's a file writing. So file writing, and for example when you're closing the file, so that is also one kind of operation only, file closing. So these are the things we are calling it say file operations. Clear? So as of now this all file operations we are doing with help of the operating system, but the same file operations we want to do that with help of the Python programming language, so that we can say that file handling with Python, file handling with Python. So we are going to be handling the files with Python programming language. Just one second. So file handling with help of the Python programming language, right? Which means that as of now, we can do the file operations with operating system, right? Now, same file operations we are going to doing with help of the Python programming language, that we are calling it say file handling with Python, right? So what kind of file operations we can do with help of the Python? Same file operations. We can create the file, we can write the data, we can read the data from the file. This all operations we can do. Okay. So for example, if you want to do that kind of file operations, it is having some kind of functions. The first function is open function. Okay. And the open function, it can needed two inputs. One is the file name. So the file name you should write in a text format, in a string format. Okay. And the mode, actually when you're opening the file, make sure that it should be in the mode. So open function, it requires the two arguments. One is the file name and second one is the mode of file operation. Okay. So these two things we need to know actually. So when you're opening the file, when the open function was successfully opened, this whatever the file name you are given, so it can be returns the file object. It can be returns the file object. Okay. So this particular file object, with help of this particular file object, we can do some kind of operations on the file. What kind of operations we can do on the file? So let's talk about modes, file modes, right? We can open the file in three modes. One is the write mode. Okay. Second one is the append mode, and third one is the read mode. Yes. So we have some kind of limitations when you're opening the file, write mode, append mode, or read mode. Okay. And here the first thing is that when the file, so here we need to know, so for example, file is not existed. If the file is not existed, then file can be created. Okay, same thing in append mode also. If the file is not existed, then file can be created. But in case of read mode, if the file is not existed, then we will get the error. We'll get error. Is it clear? So when you're opening the file in a different modes, so make sure that file should be existed when you're opening the file in read mode. Okay, as of now that's fine. Just try to observe the differences actually. Okay, so for example, file is existed and which is having some data. File is existed with some data. That particular situation, then file can be opened, but what happens? But data can lost. Okay, but the same thing if you open the file in append mode, file is existed with some data, then file can be opened, but data can be safe. So this is the difference. Okay, but in case of read mode, file existed with some data. That particular situation, file is not existed, then it will be gives an error, right? If the file is existed, it can be open and data also can be safe. As of now, this is fine. Now, so this is the two things are common whether you open the write mode, but the write mode also we can do in a two ways actually. One is the W and second one is the W plus. So even if you go and open the file in W plus mode, which means that it is a write mode only, but when you're opening the W and W plus, this is the two things are common, but the difference is if you given the W mode, we can only write, we cannot read. So even if you try to read it, you will get an error. But the same thing, if you do the A plus in write mode only, we can read as well as write the data. Okay, clear, right? Now here append mode also we have two options. One is either A and second one is A plus. So A means we can only write at end of the file. So we cannot write the data in the middle, end of the file only. Okay, so we cannot read from the file. So but if you go for the A plus, if it is the A plus, which means that both we can read and write, but we can write only at end of the file. We can read and we can write at end of the file. So even we can try to write it in the middle, we will get an, but you can be writing it at end of the file only. Okay, every time it can be writing at end of the file, but in case of W and W plus mode, we can write wherever you want it. Okay, same thing, we'll go for the R. R means only for read, even if you try to be write it, not for write, you will get an error. So for example, if I do the R plus means both read and write can possible, can do, right? Then you might be thinking, then what is the difference between the W plus and R plus? Okay. In case of R plus, if the file is not existed, okay, you will get an error. If the file is existed with some data, we can able to modify the existing data also. But even if you want to modify the existing data, it's not possible, right? The data can be lost and it was open the file in a fresh mode, right? So we can't write it actually. Okay. So we cannot read it. We cannot read it existing data, existing file information. Okay. So every time the file can be open in a fresh mode. But in case of read mode, we can open the file, and if you want to modify the existing data and present data, we can do it. But in case of append mode, we can only write at end of the file. We cannot write anything in the middle or somewhere else. So this is the differences of the mode of operations. This all things we will do with a practical oriented thing. Okay. And as of now, this is fine, right? So you might be thinking what kind of methods we are going to be using for doing some kind of file operations, file methods. So there are different methods are there. You already know that open method, and you already know that read method. Okay, you already know that open, read, and write. And for example, if you want to be close the file, we can use the close method. And fifth one is, we can, if you want to seek the cursor location from one location to another location, then we can use the seek method. And if you want to know that where my cursor is available, if you want to know it, then we can use the till method. And these are the methods mostly we are going to be using if you want to handle the files. Okay, whether it is a text files or PDF, whatever it is. Okay, this is the methods only it can help you. Okay, so for example, let's go for understanding the write mode. Let's go for understanding the write mode. If you thoroughly understood the write mode, then we can talk about other modes. Okay, so I would like to go for open the file. Okay, how we can open the file? We have the open function, right? Let me see here. Inside of my current working directory, I don't have any kind of file. For example, sample.txt file. So this is my file. This is the file which is not existed, but I want to go for open the file in write mode. Okay, this situation, it will be returns the one name or file object, and the object will be holding into any one of the variable. So the variable name is any name, you can use it. So if you want to be write anything, then make sure that we can use the FO object. For example, I want to write some information intentionally. I am writing data into sample.txt file. Okay, so after you writing the information, I want to be close it, then we can use the close method. Careful observe here, in my current working directory I have only one file, but you just execute this one, what happen we'll see. For seeing, you're not getting any kind of output, right? But you just go and look your present working directory. So this is the file previously which is not there. In a few seconds back it was created, and it having the data is 38 bytes of data. Now I want to look that what could be the data we have it. See, inside of the write method we have some kind of text, right? This is the text will be redirecting into this particular file. Clear? So that the data which is available in this particular file. Okay, clear? File is not existed and it is created, and you can able to write it. Now same thing we can execute now, but this time I can give you some new data. The new data is, I am Anjan Kumar. Okay, previously I entered the 38 characters, right? If I execute the same thing, what happens? File is existed with some data, right? Then file can be opened, but data is lost or not? Of course it can lost. we can re-execute the same program with a different writing information. So you just go and open that file and see previous data was lost or not. We have only some 10 characters or 15 characters of data we have it. Okay, I hope these 2 points are you cover. Is there any questions? If you open the file w plus mode, these two things are common. Okay, you can try with the w plus. That's your assignments. We can try with w plus. Okay, with about 2 programs we can try with the w plus with a different new file actually. Okay, whether you're getting the same thing, same observation or not, we will try for it. Now I want to be go for I just want to read it after you writing the data. Now what I want to do actually, I want to read it. Okay, then I just want to put the location at a 00 location. 00 means beginning of the file. When you're opening the file, if you want to know that where it is the file is available, then we can have a function is file location f4.tell method. We can use it. With help of the tell method, we will know it where the cursor is available. After you writing some number of characters, I want to know that where the cursor is available. After you setting the position at 0, 0, with help of the seek method, we can set the position at the beginning of the file. And again, we can print the cursor location. Now, I just want to be read it. The content, file content I want to read from the beginning of the file. Okay. So it is not possible. You will be getting an error, but we can try for it. Okay, so you are opening the w plus w mode. Here the content is 16 characters you are entered, so that initially it is a 0 position. After you entering the 16 position, then the cursor location is 16 and you're setting the position at 0 0, so that it's a printing the 0 for the 8th line, and but 9th line we are trying to be reading it, so we are getting an error, unsupported file operation error. Okay, same thing we can try with w plus. So if I try with the w plus, so we are not getting any kind of issue here. Okay, so again 16 characters you enter, and the 16 characters whatever you writing, that you are reading and you are printing or not, and you're printing. After you are reading entire data, I want to know that what could be the cursor location, and you're printing the 16 characters. So this is the way. If I do the w plus, both write and read operations is possible, but if you do the w plus w mode, we can only write it. Okay,
But can you not read by line, like for
of course
example,
we can
based on a
write the
delimiter?
line by line. Okay,
No,
let
but
me
read.
consider. Yes, I am Python trainer. I am so Python. Here how many lines are there? How many lines are there?
4.
4 lines, right? Now, okay. Oh, sorry. You have to be right. Okay. Of course, we can read it, but you know what? Here we are, which is not having lines. Only one line we have it, right? So that it is reading only one line. But we can write in a read line by line also. We have a read line method, read lines method. We have it. We can do it. That I will show you. Okay.
Sure.
Um. Okay. Anyway, we have a file. We can do that w mode and w plus mode, right? Now, what I can do?
So when you seek, it just returns you the position of the cursor where it is right now, and then can you increment the seek also by one position and read it
Actually, in
incrementally? Is
case of Python 2, which is happening, but in Python 3, which is not supporting, either you can set the position at beginning, either you can set the position at end. But in Python 2 version, we can seek the position in the middle. For example, first line to fifth line, we can do that, or fifth position, we can do it. But in
okay? So you
Python 3,
can
we don't have it. We are just setting in the beginning of the file, or else we can set at end of the file.
okay. So seek function is not used a whole lot. There.
Yeah, only two areas only we are using. Either you can set at beginning, either you can set at end. Okay. Now we'll talk about W mode. So I can stop the reading, because of course we can do it, no issue. So file is already existed, and which is having how many lines of how many lines we have it? 4 lines, right? Okay. Now I would like to go for enter the one more line. Okay, and of course we can do it, but you can try to observe here when you're opening the file. Shit, you're not opening in append mode. You have to set the position. Okay, again you lost that information. I am Python trainer. Okay, so let's have it. You can close it. Now you're opening the file in append mode. Same file you open, right? By the time what happens? Initially it's not showing it 0 because of already the file is having 38 characters are there. So the 38, okay, 38th location. Initially the when you're opening the file in append mode, so the default location is at end of the file, and you're writing the data, and you're writing the some extra characters, and it is 54 characters, right? After that one, you are able to printing that cursor location, so that it's a 54 characters it is printing, 54 number position it is printing, and I'm setting the position at 0 0, and so that after that one I was trying to be printing the location, it's 0 0, and you open the file in a mode, right? So we can't able to append it, sorry, we can't able to read it. So that's the error we are getting, unsupported file operation. Okay, same thing here. What happens if I do the a plus? This situation we are not doing any kind of, see, previously we have 54 characters are there, again you are entered the 16 characters, so that it's 70, and you're setting the position 0, and you're reading entire information. You're reading entire information with help of the read method. Okay, so what kind of text we have inside of the particular file? That entire text we are going to be reading it with help of the read method. For example, we can have a read line method is there. If we have a read line method, we can only read only single line. Okay, and for example, I want to comment this one because of every time which is writing the same information. So for example, I want to read it one more line, and I want to read it 3 lines continuously. Then see, 3 lines it is reading or not. For example, I want to read all the lines in one shot. We can have a method is for data equal to fo dot read lines. So when we are read lines, if you want to print only data, so which is printing one list, the list which contains the lines, each and every line which is having it. For example, I want to print the individual thing, then we can have a for loop for line in data. Then you can able to go for print the line with help of the for loop. You already know that what could be the for loop is doing here. So it is printing the line by line, right? Okay, so you're reading entire lines and you're storing into one particular area, and it is printing line by line with help of the for loop. Okay, so here my intention is that if the file is existed some data, we are open, right? For example, if the file is not existed,
So readline is actually returning number of lines in the file.
not number of lines, all the lines into one variable as a list.
Okay, so it's actually returning the data.
This is the data which is having the, so before you are going to be printing it, you just
We
print
didn't
the
get the
data.
length of it.
Yes, it's not length actually. So entire data we are reading as a lines wise. Okay, so one line is the one word, one element of the list. Second line is second element of the list. Third line it could be the third element of the list, and fourth line fourth element of the list. Fifth line fifth element of the list. This is the way you're reading all the lines wise, and all the lines we are storing into one list, and you are iterating that list, so that each and every line which is accessing, that means each and every element from the list we are accessing, and you're printing that line. Okay, so nothing too much, so you can print it. What could be there here? List or not? Is it list or not? Arvindo, is it list or not?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
The list which contains the lines of that particular file. This is line 1, this is line 2, this is line 3, this is line 4, this is line 5. Okay, Hello.
Yes, I got it.
Yep. Fine. If, for example, previously file is existed, we are opening the data and data is also saved, right? Now file is not existed. What happens? Sample1.txt file which is not available, and you're opening the file and we can able to write it. Of course, you're not getting any kind of error. File is not existed, then it can be created. File is existed with some data, data is safe, file can be opened. So that's the difference. Now, same thing we can try with read mode. So we can try with R. R means what? Read mode, right? If the file is existed with some data, okay, it can be opened it. We can try to be write it. It's not possible. If you open the file in R mode, okay, and if you want to try to write it, it's not possible. For example, without writing, I want to performing the file operations. If you want to read only one line, okay, or if you want to use the lines wise, f4 dot read line, directly we can use the read lines and we can print the line, okay. And this is the way we can use the reads, right? Read operations, we can use it, either read or read line or read lines, we can use it. Okay, so this is fine. Now what I want to do it actually, I want to be, see, initially the file content is Anjan Kumar, right? Previous example is having the first line is Anjan Kumar, right? Now I can write the data, but it's not Anjan Kumar, some new data I can enter it. Data science, okay, data science, and so we can write it. Oh shit, we can do the R plus. If I do the R plus, see, data science is there or not? Data science and AI, some character, okay. See, so this is the new data you entered or not? So which is modifying the existing data. We can able to modify the existing data, okay. And for example, same thing, if you are set the location at end of the file, you're setting the location and at the end of the file 2,0, which means that it's end of the file. See, f4 dot close, we can write and we can read it, right? f4 dot seek 0,0. I would like to go for f4 dot read Jan Kumar and AI. Okay, it's writing it as fourth line on, second line onwards, 2,0 in the sense second position from the beginning of the file. Okay, see, previously we have a data science, right? So when I'm giving the 2,0, which means that this is 0 indicating that it's the beginning of the file. If I'm giving the 2, that means the second location onwards. So here what I can do, here I can make it like 2,0. This situation you're adding the data science and data science and AI at end of the file or not, when I'm setting the position at last. Okay, this is the way we can write the data, or else we can write in the middle, or else we can write at end, okay. And we can modify the existing data and we can modify the present data also when I'm using the R plus. Nothing too much, you just practice it actually. So this kind of file operations, if you know it, even we can handle the XML files, JSON files, So this same process you might have it if you want to parse the XML files, if you want to parse the JSON files. Okay, so it can help you a lot. Okay, even if you want to handle the Excel files or CSV files, so these things will help you. Okay, so this is for Python class. And and Kunal, Arvindo and Kunal,
Yes.
you guys come to your machine learning classes.
When is that
Sahitya and
class?
yeah, sorry,
When is that class?
after 20 minutes.
And it's just today. So basically, I have, like I said, I mean, today and tomorrow morning, I have some stuff. So I can
Yeah,
start from tomorrow.
no problem, no problem. But usually I would like to take it a 3 sessions in a daily. Okay, one could be my Python, one could be starts in the morning. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
rest of this Python and Python is whatever you learn as of now, that's fair enough. But whatever I'm teaching now, it could be so to get some more information about Python. Okay, as of now,
Okay.
whatever you learn, that's fair enough to become like a data scientist. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
it can help you, right? So when just if you go for 1 week ahead, so you can conclude your Python course. So which
Okay.
means that why we need to, so you can spend some extra hours, then you can learn entire information about Python, right? Okay.
Okay.
But why can't?
Yeah.
Is there any possibility to do the machine learning like at the same time as Python
Yeah,
is?
of course I will do it, but so already some existing batch is running, right? So I
Mm.
have to start that particular batch machine learning from today onwards. Okay. So once I conclude this Python classes, then definitely I would like to take the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So today I won't be joining, but let them know when the next
Yeah,
class
no
is.
problem.
Okay.
I will share with you, so that particular
Yeah. I
recording.
will join after 20 minutes.
Yeah, you can join after 20 minutes. The same link.
Okay.
Even you who want to, Rajesh, you also can join the um, machine learning class after 20 minutes. And Aditi and Sahitya, so if you're interested for machine learning, we can also join it. But if you're not interested, if you want to go for AWS, then that's fair enough. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, guys, bye. Take care.